Would you say Ian announced 2 more shows?
We just announced 2 more shows in West Virginia on it's after the finals. Our USA, our nationals is on October 29th in Tampa. And then we're going to have a show after that on the 12th of November in West Virginia. And that'll be the first qualifier for the following season's finals.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Now Sean Pierre's got 2 boxes up here.
Recording in progress.
That's DJ JP.
JP's doubling up. Holy crap.
Jesus. I can't get it going.
You got 2 screens up here, JP.
Guys, Jesus.
It's echoing too.
I thought you were an IT whiz, JP. Come on. You're making me look bad.
It's not working.
It's not good at all.
Working.
No. Sounds better now.
Oh, my
I have this big screen here and the cameras, and now I'm back on the iPad.
Oh, that's no good. That's no
Oh.
good.
What a mess.
Where's Mac at?
Thing I have here, you know.
How
Ian,
do
where's
you,
Mac?
now, JP, why do you have this extra box on here on the screen? You're signed in. You're signed in twice.
I know.
You have a blank screen. I can try to cut it out. Let me see if I can get rid of it.
I'm loving this. I am absolutely loving this.
Jesus.
And I have a remove here. Hopefully it doesn't take you out.
No, it probably won't. Yeah, there you go.
It went. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
So who's the other guest today, Jason?
Maria Diaz. She's a
I thought we were getting that natural guy on today.
no, that's next week. He couldn't do today.
Oh, damn, I was all excited for that one.
Yeah, I gotta get it up, heat it up a little bit. I gotta promote it.
All right, okay.
I'm gonna have like a boxing ring with him versus JP.
Driving me crazy here.
Yeah,
I guess I can disconnect this microphone. This is not going to fucking work.
Yeah.
looks badass though. It looks like you're gonna start singing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Now what is that there?
Well, I have to go back to my old kind of. So there we go. I mean, I'm in my office the first time, and I got all this professional freaking setup. So you know, well, what can I say? We're gonna have to try this outside the podcast someday.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. I can't this weekend, but whatever night you want during the week, just let me know, and I can.
Because I just couldn't connect the camera. So, but when I watch on the screen, the camera is working. But when I linked into the Zoom, you know, my window was the only one closed. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
Now, are you have a separate camera or are you using the computer camera?
I added one. My computer didn't have a camera, so I added one to the computer. But it's like a real professional one. I came early to install the light and everything. I was all this trouble to look good, you know. And yeah, well, here we are, back on the iPad.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I've gone through that. I think Ryan, we were interviewing somebody, and mine just totally went out.
To see my retro outfit, my retro fridge, my retro.
Oh man, check that out!
Wow, very nice.
Nice. Yeah. And this is the other side of my office here.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
What's that? I saw you. Are you selling lifting straps, or have you always sold those?
No, I mean, I have this annoying company from Pakistan. They want to go into business with me constantly.
Yeah.
So one time the guy, just to kind of get him off my back, I bought the whole freaking bag full, you know. So now I have like hundreds of lifting straps. You know, I'm not a salesman. I cannot sell anything. So he keeps pushing for more, but I give them all away. And you know, my wife is the only one making money off my name. You know, whenever she's like, I've seen people walking into the gym with jackets and my monster thing name on it. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we bought it from your wife. I said, I can't freaking believe that. You know, that little cunt. You know, just making money off my name.
Well, JP, she has your last name, so
She can do whatever she wants.
Go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know.
there you go.
Oh yeah. And it goes all into cat food anyway, so you're all good. Yeah.
I'm the only one here that's not married, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I
right.
think so.
Yeah.
probably also a little bit younger than us, huh?
Yeah, not too much. Or actually, Ryan's younger than me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan's a year. What how old are you now, Ryan?
43.
Yeah, okay, I'm 44. So yeah.
Ryan,
You've
sure
been
is a
the only
beautiful
single one, Jason. That explains the text messages coming through.
What's that?
You being the only unmarried one explains those text messages.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
coming through.
Exactly. Yeah.
At all hours of the night. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That was classic, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a bachelor's text.
So we have a girl on today.
Yeah, Maria Diaz. I just sent her the link, so whenever she pops in here.
She is the figure pro, correct?
She's figure pro. She's done.
She won the New York Pro, I think. Was it last year?
New York or Pittsburgh?
No, she won New York, I think. I'm pretty sure she won the New York. Did she win New York Pro? I know I think she won Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, I know she did Pittsburgh. I don't know about New York. I'll have to ask her, but I know she did the Olympia like 6 times.
Wow.
So
Let's see. I think
let's see what she's got going on. I know she's been doing a lot of photo shoots and stuff, but we'll ask her.
yeah, she won 2018. She won the New York Pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
All right.
But until she comes on, did you JP, did you get that thing I sent you for next week's guest?
Yes. What was that again?
The natural, you won the
Oh
natural
yeah, the
Mr.
natural
Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Now what was I haven't watched the interview yet. Ian.
haven't
What,
either.
what was the interview?
I haven't seen it. I tried to find it a little bit earlier, but to just get some info. But
I'd heard about it before Ian said something about him calling out saying natural bodybuilding was the only type of bodybuilding or something like that.
I just saw a thing on Instagram, I think, from Generation Iron, maybe.
Mhm.
That posted it.
Yeah, that's what he's.
I know
Well,
that, really.
we talked a little bit, and he just said that they kind of blew that interview out of proportion. They kind of
No,
took it
but
out of they said he took it out of kind of context of what he said. So he said he'll explain it a little more when he comes.
Well, he sure has some health argument, but you know, I mean, that's about it. You know, sure, what I seen on his picture doesn't look much like a bodybuilder to me, but you know, let's see what he says.
Yeah, we shall see.
Because Mr. Olympia, I mean, I always talked of kind of like an early Kai Green or if Ross was gay, or you know, I mean, what I seen on that picture didn't look like Mr. Olympia to me, even in the natural world.
Yeah. What's our next show? What's the next pro show? Do we know?
Ryan must probably know. I have no idea.
No.
It's not as simple anymore as it used to be with the Arnold's in March and
some different shows this year. It's a little all over the place. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we've got a show in 2 weeks.
That's the first one, right?
Yeah. First show.
Ian,
Yeah,
I seen some
24th.
incredible athletes from your federation recently. They're
Say that
popping
again,
up
JP?
on Instagram. I mean, it's just incredible what some of those guys look like. You know, I mean,
Although we've got some really world-class athletes, JP. That's
congratulations. You know,
thank you.
The Asian pictures from Asia, man. There's some potential. There's some really good quality bodybuilders out there, man.
You see that new pro, the guy with the most muscular that post the other day?
Amazing. Crazy.
Yeah.
Looks crazy.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm sure he'll be at the universe in 5 weeks. So yeah, no, that's the thing that I'm really proud of, JP, to be honest with you, because the PCA that I see worldwide is really the only federation that I've seen come in with world-class athletes. You know, not just me saying the world-class because they're good within our federation, but genuine world-class athletes that would do well in any federation, you know, and that's I'm more proud of that than anything else that we do.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, thank you. Thanks for noticing.
I didn't know Phil Westcott was a PCA guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
an
Phil
IFBB
competed with
pro.
us in our very first show. He actually relinquished his IFBB pro status.
Yeah, he's
I
in Tampa.
He's based in Tampa, but he competed in Lakeland in our very first Florida show
Yeah,
in 2018.
yeah. I
If you-
met him at Powerhouse in Tampa.
Ian, if you get an IFBB pro, do they have to requalify as a pro, or do you give them automatically pro status?
Honestly, JP, we wouldn't have done it, but we allow pros from other federations to compete in our pro lineup. But in order to get PCA pro status, they have to place well. And we won't just let them compete as a pro if I don't feel that they're of high enough standard. So just because they've got the pro card doesn't automatically mean that they can compete in our pro lineup. But if they're of a high enough standard, then yes, we will definitely allow them to compete in our pro lineup. But to compete internationally, they would need to get a PCA pro card, which we would award them if we felt like they were of a high enough standard.
Do you have pro shows and amateur shows, or do you all just have a pro category in the amateur shows?
No, we have a pro category at amateur shows, basically. So like the Universe, we'll have all the amateur sections, and then we'll have all the pro lineups within the same show. Like the old Grand Prix, really. The old Grand Prix used to have like amateur shows, and then the pros would come out. So it's kind of similar to that. But I'm sure as we grow, we'll have our own pro shows that are just pro shows. But we have pro shows all over the world. I mean, South Korea this year, I think, has got 50 shows. Wow. They've got a ridiculous amount. And actually, South Korea have got their own natural division of PCA. So they've got PCA natural and they've got PCA, regular PCA. And they run the shows consecutive. So on a Saturday will be the natural show, or Sunday will be the open show.
You're doing a urine test or the whole thing, to make sure?
I don't honestly know. I'll find out when I go to England in May, because I'll be meeting with them all. We've got 38 countries involved. I represent the US, and all other 37 countries will be there. So I'm sure we'll all be sitting down and brainstorming about how to improve and what to do next. And I've got a list of questions that I'm going to be asking them, but I'm very interested in how they do it, because I don't believe that the lie detector is effective, to be honest with you. I think the only way to really test is to physically test either blood or urine.
Yeah, you can pass that polygraph.
Yeah. What do you say, Jason?
Yeah, that polygraph can be passed.
Exactly. Well, it's basically if you believe your own lies, right?
Mm.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think so the only really blood test will be the only thing which really is kind of somewhat safe.
Yeah, but I'm not sure of the cost. Then you look
Yeah.
at the whole cost of it then, aren't you? I mean, a lot of these natural federations pass on the cost of the test onto the athlete.
Mhm.
So now the athletes are paying to enter, which is no cheaper than any other federation.
But then, I would not, would I be in the business of cheating? I mean, of course, every natural athlete should be, it's fair to not do, they really do want to be the natural, but I would be far more afraid of the lie detector than the urine test.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends what your predisposition is, but I know people that have passed the lie detectors. And I personally know them, and Jason, I mean, he's in law enforcement. He knows that they can be beaten.
But
I don't know. I mean, what extent do people go to pass a test if they're actually taking something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not an easy subject, is it? It's one of those, it's kind of uncharted territory for me, because like you, I was always a heavyweight. If I was in NABBA, I was always a tall class. I was always a heavyweight. I never had to make a weight class, and I never tried to compete in a natural bodybuilding show. I just competed in the bodybuilding show. It was very different back in our day. The natural bodybuilding federations really weren't very popular back in our day, were they?
No. Yeah. I mean, I passed all my drug tests at the Mr. Universe and not the Swiss Championships. But later on, when I was asked to help people in natural federations to pass drug tests, I refused to help, because it's just stupid. I mean, I'm not going to be proud of anything cheating related. But the Mr. Universe was different, because everybody was in the business of cheating, and everybody knew that everybody else takes something too. That was a total different story, you know, the World Amateur World Championships. So
What did you do for that then? Did you take like masking agents, or did you just cycle off early?
No.
Or?
I mean, if you do masking agents, I mean, one trick people use is use a massive amount of diuretics, you know, and then just thin out the urine. But they did, if your urine came in without the color, they disqualified you automatically. Oh, wow. So no, I did just really study on every single component I took. How long is it in the system, and then just kind of stop one after another. But then the joke about it is you have to switch to so many orals that you're going to jeopardize your health more than a not tested show. You know? So
I heard that.
And I remember I failed one test in '89 at the Swiss Junior Championship, but that was just because one of the products was mislabeled. You know, we had this product from Eastern Germany. It was called Polasterone, and we all were crazy about it because it said on the label, this is property of the Eastern German government. And we are like, oh my God, you know, this communistic stuff, we need to take that, guy. And it was supposed to be a testosterone mix, way stronger than any testosterone we have in the West. And of course, it was just cheap deca in it, you know. so we all failed to test on nandrolone, you know. So I remember I went to the Swiss Championships, but the tests were not back in time. So I was already in Paris for the World Championships. So I was also tested in Paris, but they must have thrown the samples away because in Paris, two weeks later, I passed, you know, but I'm pretty sure I still had an nandrolone in the system.
Wow.
So yeah, then I was supposed to send the trophy back for the Swiss Championship. There's no freaking way I'm going to send the trophy back, you know. No, not the way my mindset was back then, yeah. And the guy used to call me, the guy who plays second, and I said, look, everybody's seen it. I beat you fair and square. You tested positive. I said, look, forget it, you know. Yeah. So the trophy is mine, and that was it, yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah.
But then in '93, '94, I passed every test they threw at me. I just tested like 4 times a year at the qualification and at the World Championships. But there were always, every year, a few of the best, you know, athletes didn't pass, you know. I mean, I remember that year, I think Frossos was talking about it, and Frossos lost against Ralph Müller. They were like pretty much the top 5 were all disqualified. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how did they post back then before there was the internet and stuff like that? Did they put it in magazines of people that failed the tests, or they
No, they never really talked about it.
No,
you were not in the magazines, you know, you were just kind of ignored. So that was kind of yeah, that's how I was dealt with that, you know.
Yeah. I know these days they just kind of, most of these federations, they'll put you on their website and stuff, their names.
Right.
The naughty list.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey Phil, how'd your interview go the other day? With Sean Ray?
It went well. It was good. Yeah, I've known Sean since '84. His first guest appearance or guest posing was at Disneyland. A guy named Wally Boyko put on the show, and we guest posed together along with like Bob Birdsong, and there was several other, John Brown, and a few other top pros.
Yeah.
And when I signed a contract for the guest posing, I didn't get a hotel room. It didn't come with it. So he ended up, instead of sleeping in my car, he ended up letting me stay at his house with him and his father and brother. So we got a long history. So it went well. It was a good interview.
Yeah. When's he supposed to air it, you know?
It's aired now.
Oh, it is aired. Okay.
It's already on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that from that series, Where Are They Now? I think it calls it.
You got it.
I did the very first one, I believe.
Did you?
I saw yours.
Yeah.
I saw yours 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. So when I saw that interview, it kind of got me into getting in better shape again. I didn't even know how freaking out of shape I was when I saw that interview. And there was some really harsh comments about, you know, that fat guy on that interview. So yeah, we did it in Switzerland. It was good, you know. So you guest posted, you knew Bob Birdsong?
I knew Bob. Oh, very. I see him every time we have a Venice Beach bodybuilding competition. He and I show up because he's in the Venice Beach Hall of Fame.
You know, he lives out here, yeah?
Yeah, he's in Palm Springs. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do
I
you see him
remember-
often?
When I moved here in '89, I seen him sitting at Starbucks, and I think he was a preacher. 20.
Yes. Something. Yeah. I want to say so. Yeah.
So I tried to talk to him, didn't really get anywhere because my English was so terrible. And many years later, I seen him. He's working in some luxury grocery store selling supplements to rich ladies.
Right. Yeah.
Some totally overpriced, crazy grocery store.
Yeah.
He's handling the nutrition aisle, you know. So.
Right. Yeah.
And a few years ago, I think that was the year he was inducted into the Venice Beach Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He kind of got
went there.
himself into really great shape. You know, he
Yeah.
came to our gym to train, and the guy was so hard so quickly. He was supposed to be 70 years old, you know.
Yeah. Oh, he's in great shape for his age. You should see him.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
So you seen him recently then?
Oh, about the last show we had was probably the last Labor Day. I saw him. Now see him next month.
So to get inducted into the Venice Beach Hall of Fame, I guess the criteria is you have to have lived there or trained there for a while, or just be there
I would say
occasionally.
so, because most of us did. Yeah. You have to live there and train there for a while. Sounds about right.
So my 6 weeks a year probably don't qualify. I would love to be there.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're running out of space for the plaque, so I'll mention you.
Oh, that would be
mention
something else. Venice Beach Hall of Fame. Oh my God, that would be big. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, actually.
Where do they put the plaques? Where they hung?
Well, the plaques are on the base of the gymnasium.
Okay.
So if you go up to the gym where the fence is,
Yeah.
the plaques are at the bottom in cement.
Okay.
Did you ever train in the outdoor gym?
You know what? Not really. Not any real workouts. Photo shoots, but not any real workouts. I always went to Gold's or World Gym.
Yeah.
Preferably, you know, just I don't want to train in the sun. It's already hot enough. Right. And the funny thing, there's no mirrors there, right?
Yeah.
So I use the mirrors to train. I've never trained without a mirror, believe it or not. That's something funny.
Well,
I remember my very first show, beginner Grand Prix in Switzerland. I never in my life, I was 16 years old. I never in my life did a pose without a mirror. And suddenly I found myself on stage, no idea how to stand, what to do. And very, very far back, behind the last row, there was a bar. And you could see where the bottles were placed. You could see there was a mirror behind it, but it was like a freaking half a mile away. So I tried as good as I could to focus on that little mirror at the bar back there. Of course, couldn't see anything. So it was an absolute freaking drama. So I learned my lesson from that, you know.
That happens to a lot of guys. That happens to a lot of guys.
Yep.
They pose in front of the mirror, they practice, they never pose without it. And as soon as they get on stage, they're lost.
And I even had a posing coach for that show. You know, the first and last time in my life, his name was Robert Duntlinger. He was a Czechoslovakian bodybuilder. I think he placed third at the European Championship in must have been early 80s. You know, so it's funny that I had a posing coach for my very first beginner show, and not later on, and I needed it.
Yeah.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. It's been a while.
Yes.
I think this summer, I think around this time last year was our last interview.
Was it?
Yeah.
Time flies.
I know. How you been?
Good, pretty good.
Good.
Yes.
Good. I see you've been busy doing a lot of photo shoots and everything else, huh?
Yeah, so like I had 2 surgeries. One was around probably 6 weeks ago, and then the other one this past Monday. So before the last surgery, I wanted to do like some footage so I could keep, updating people, and it's fun. I love it. So and enjoying the weather too. Miami is so awesome. So
are you living down here now in Florida?
No, I was here until Saturday.
Okay. You're still out of Boston, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought. This is Jean-Pierre, Ian, Ryan, and Phil. I'm sure you know most of these guys.
Hi, how are you?
I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but when did you start competing? And did you start in figure, or where did you start?
Figure.
You did start in figure.
Yes.
When was that?
2011. Yeah.
Okay. So you're still hot and heavy at it. And you did the Olympia 6 times?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your highest place in? You remember?
6th place.
6th place. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
incredible.
really, that's good because usually those lineups are pretty deep.
Yeah, especially now, it's just I mean, the competition has always been there, but I think now more than ever, it's very hard.
Mhm.
So yeah, you just fight every day for it.
Yeah.
I
And what-
believe it's the deepest class in bodybuilding.
Yeah, I think the figure is a category where like it's so hard to actually you can't be too shredded, you can't be too muscular, you still have to maintain the femininity, but then you have to have those huge quads, deep separation, but it can be too much. So it's like you really have to know what you're doing for figure, and it's just a hard category. But I think that's what I love the most. It's so challenging that every year you have to just know your competition, know what the judges are looking for, and just try your best.
Yeah, I seen last year in certain shows there are like 40 girls on stage. I mean, I've seen that in Tampa. So is it in figure the same as in bodybuilding that you have to be in the top 5 at the Miss Olympia or then win a show?
Yeah. For you to be at the Olympia, you either have to win the show or you have to accumulate points. Oh, that's so long ago.
What did you compete in last year?
Last year, I won the Pittsburgh Pro, I won the New
Okay.
York Pro, and then I won the Hurricane Pro.
Oh wow. Oh, man. Tore it up last year.
Yeah.
What I don't want to get too far ahead, but what's your plans? What are you doing next?
So I was able to get a pretty good size with my legs up before the last surgery. Yeah, and now I just have to recover just for 1 more week, and then I can just get back to it.
Okay.
There were major surgeries. The one, it was a hernia, so that was within a week and a half I was able to lift again, and then the other one was just breast implants. So just I have to replace them, and then now I'm good. By next week I should be good.
Okay. Cool.
Are you qualified this year at the Olympia already?
Yes, I qualified right after. So I jumped out at we got out of the Olympia, and then I think it was a week or 2 weeks after it was the Hurricane Pro, and then I jumped into that one. I won that one, and then I'm qualified. That's why I was able to do the 2 surgeries that I needed to do, and now this is my first long off season ever.
Yeah, because you've got so you're gonna wait till December to compete then for the Olympia?
I really wanted to do one at least before the Olympia and then go to the Olympia. I feel like you have to be there before the Olympia. Even when I see other girls doing the same thing and taking that long off season and then just showing up at the Olympia, I don't know, something is off. So I really want to do a show before if I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, did you want to stick to something that's going to be closer to the Olympia or a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit closer to the Olympia. I mean, the show that I really wanted to do, it was the New York Pro and the Pittsburgh Pro, but because of the surgeries, I wasn't going to be able to make it. So I'm going to stick to something that's closer to the Olympia.
Could that not like extremely backfire in a sense that, I mean, it's good to practice, absolutely. But if you're close to Olympia, not really in a first call out, you'd believe there's like any chance to then be, looked at by the judges at the Olympia and move into the first call out? I mean, I was always kind of scared to.
Yeah, it's kind of very like I think you're playing with fire anyways. And I'm not afraid to like jump in there and then see what they want. Usually I'm very on point. I always get first call out and I'm either win a show or I get very good points. Yeah, that's a tough one. I really probably going to have to really think about it and see what's the plan. But it's most like I think I'm just going to go, if my physique is where I want it to be, then I'll just, I'll do a show before. But if it's not there 100% and I need more time, then I'll just wait for the Olympia.
So I looked at your Instagram and I tried to study your physique as good as I could. So since you say you have the longest off season ever, what is your focus? Which body parts you think you need to improve most?
My quads, and obviously getting my waist tighter. So you know, wearing that waist trainer is so important nowadays, and keeping everything so tight. And I had done it before. And then, you know, you get comfortable, you start taking that waist trainer out, and then it's like kind of comes back, especially now that I'm training heavier legs. So now it's just like keeping that waist very tight and work on my quads.
So how to use the waist trainer? I mean, especially in bikini, the opinions vary wide. You know, as I heard girls, I can't sleep in it. I just use it when I go grocery shopping or so. Others wear it all night.
Yeah, no.
How
So
you do that?
yeah, you're not supposed to wear it overnight. I know that you're supposed to wear, you know, throughout the day. And I usually wear as soon as I wake up. I wear like, you know, I have my first meal, and then I start wearing it during in the house, and then during training. But like the most time you're on it, the better.
Mm-hmm. So you believe that just, I mean, it's not going to really make your waist smaller, but you think what it could do is just give you a better awareness if you wear it constantly?
Yeah,
That
so
you're
like,
standing better?
I have done it before, and like when I started, the first time that I started wearing it, it made a huge difference. You could see my waist just really went in. And then obviously getting my quads bigger is just gonna create that illusion that I have a smaller waist, because for me, my physique, my waist is not the smallest. Especially now, if you're gonna compare it to the girls that are, you know, especially with different genetics, they have this tiny waist. So for us, like Hispanic or probably white people, they have a different waist frame. So for us, it's kind of harder to get to that, you know, tiny waist, but it's just creating that illusion. That's what I'm kind of playing with, and getting my quads, my sweep bigger, and then, you know, wearing that waist trainer is just gonna create that illusion that for my frame, I'll have a smaller waist.
That's what I should have done in my days, huh? Wear a waist trainer.
Yeah.
It truly works. I see my pictures from like when I started wearing it, and then when I showed that I didn't wear it, and then you can see the major difference.
Oh, that's incredible.
It does work.
Hey, Maria, how tall are you?
5'6.5".
Okay, you're my height. Wow.
Okay.
Now, is that height division or weight division? I'm sorry.
No, it's just if you're, you know, if you're a pro, then you go with every single height.
Okay, it's one category.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
Now, what does
got
your
you into the sport, Maria?
Sorry?
What got you into competing?
I was always into sports. I love being athletic, and then I always always loved muscles, and I started lifting for kind of fun, and I didn't know they had competitions. And then I met my husband that kind of introduced me to the field. And then I'm always very competitive anyways. For everything that I do, I'm very competitive. So now that and then after I met him, I actually saw what it is to kind of like compete. And then I just fell in love with it. As soon as I did my first show, the first prep, and I saw my body, how it looked, that's when I was like, whoa, this is like what I want to do for life. And then, yeah.
Quite addictive, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I don't even see myself getting out of the stage pretty soon. I know that I can do better. And then as soon as I know that I think a person knows when they're done. And but I know that I have a lot more to give. So once I hit that, then I'll be able to retire. Not that I'm looking for it, but I just love the stage.
It's not polite to ask a woman. I was going to ask the same thing. How old are you?
That's the main questions for every single guy. They as soon as a woman starts hitting a certain age, they're like, so when are you gonna retire? When are you gonna have babies or whatever? But nowadays it's just now I'm 34, and but I see that my physique is just getting better and better.
Yeah.
And then Once that I know that I can't compete with the 20-year-olds, and then I'll be like, okay, it's time to go.
34 is young.
Yeah.
It's young.
If I was the 34 that that I looked at all the girls and younger than me, then I saw, and then then I see the difference, then I'll be like, okay, it's time to retire. But like now my body just, I think it's just getting better within time. And it just, I needed that off season. Yeah.
I always thought if I can't qualify for the Olympia, it's time to go.
It's tough. Once you meet that first Olympia qualification, it's kind of like game over. You want to go every single year, and it happened to me twice that I couldn't make it for 1 point, and it was like really hard mentally, and it was just that point. It just like, it really messed up with my head. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna be ready for next year, and it's just that's your goal every single year. It's not even like qualifying for points. I always want to go by winning a show. So that's even kind of like harder. Like I'm probably very tough on myself, but it's just like I want to be the best of that I can be. So winning a show and then being able to be at the Olympia, that's my goal every year.
Are you working with a coach?
Sorry?
Are you working with a coach?
Yeah. So I try to work with a coach, but it's just I think it's kind of like tough. I think it's just I'm very strict with myself. And I think I'm better off. Obviously, I always take constructive criticism, and I always ask, the main judges what I need. And then I know if I need more help, I'll look for it. Like I needed more help for posing. So I reached out to Kenny Wallach, and we worked together. For coaching, it's kind of myself and my husband. I worked with Honey Rambo for a little bit. He helped me with my first show. And then from there, it just, I like to I'm very strict for myself. My husband even says to me, like, can you get off a little bit of your, kind of like your meal plan or whatever. It's just like, for me, it's my lifestyle. So it's very hard for me to like get off of my lifestyle. So I don't think, in the meal plan, I need probably a coach, but I would like to have somebody that pushes me a little bit more on my training. So my husband's gonna try to be there for me on the training part. But
so you're a very rare exception, pretty much old school, working with the husband. I liked it a lot, so not micromanaged by somebody from the outside. So that's great. Yeah.
So I always like to, like, obviously, if somebody has, a good feedback or constructive criticism, I'm always open for it. I mean, this is bodybuilding. If you're not open for constructive criticism, you shouldn't be in the sport. I like to have my space. I know what I can mentally, what I can do. And it just, I don't think I need somebody to tell me what to do, because I kind of like do it already. Like I'm always ahead.
That's refreshing.
Funny thing is, it's your body. You know it best. You live in it.
Yeah.
It's hard for an outsider, I would think, to come in and tell you what's best for you. If you're paying attention to what you're doing over the years, you know your body better than anybody.
Yeah. So now I think I got kind of like the point that now, like, I barely have to do cardio to achieve that, how very conditioned I get. So I got to the point that I know how to manage my diet very, very well. I don't have those cravings anymore. I'm like living the lifestyle. Even, I think it just takes years for you to get to that point mentally. And it's not something that gets, you do it in the first year, the second year is like everybody's craving everything. You see all the rookies now, they're like, oh, they can't wait to eat. For me, it's like, I can't wait to do the next show. And I don't even think about eating. When people ask me, oh, what are you going to have after the show? I'm like, oh, I don't know, whatever. It's like, whatever is there. But I'm always, more focused on my goals than what I have to eat.
Now, are you planning on just staying figure, or do you ever thought about going up maybe to women's physique or something?
No, women's physique, I think it's just wouldn't want to get my upper body to that level. Yeah,
you train pretty heavy. All these videos and stuff that I watch you train pretty heavy.
Yeah, like for legs, I train very heavy. I try to, and then for upper body, just maintain. Obviously now I'm focusing more on the squeezing and kind of like getting that deeper muscularity in my back, but nothing crazy. For legs, I try to go to the 100 reps, old school, CC squats. Try to do everything that back in the day used to work. It is super tough, but I try to do heavy too.
Now, two questions. How long is your prep? And then, and this is for the women that ask this, do you continue to train heavy all the way through your prep up until your show time, or do you back off before?
So my week, I usually try to do 18 weeks.
Okay.
I
That's
feel
a long prep.
with that. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that because at the end of the day, I'm always ready before, and then it's easy to maintain. And then I listen to my body. So if my body can do, I know what my body kind of like can and cannot do. I'd never force to do, like if I'm 2 weeks out, I'm not gonna go 6 plates on 7 plates on a leg press. I'm gonna listen to my body. If I can do 3, I can do 3. If I can do 4, I can do 4. I just usually I listen to my body.
And what's
So
go ahead, JP.
So when you look at the training, when you compare off season to a prep, is it just the diet changes, or you change your training?
No, the diet. So the off season, I just eat way more. I allow myself to have like kind of like a cheat meal. Like if I want to go to a restaurant, I'll go to a restaurant. But the training, I always kind of like keep it the same. Just like closer to the show, I just listen more to my body. And then like everybody, like one day you can do 8 plays on a leg press, one day you can do 4 plays on a leg press. It depends. It's just like I try to listen to my body as much as possible to avoid any type of injury. But I push myself. If I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I run to my husband, like, what am I doing wrong that I don't feel the pump, or I'm not feeling it, or I feel that I can do more. So then I just listen.
You do cardio all year?
Not really. So now I got to the point that off season, I barely do cardio. I used to my schedule is very kind of like crazy. So if I can get 20 minutes after workout, I'll do it. But if I don't mind. I have plenty of dogs that I do a lot of dog walking. So I usually do 2 walks, 2 45 minutes walk around sometimes 60 minutes to twice a day. So that keeps him pretty good. But I don't force myself to do cardio anymore. Now prepping, then yes, then I have to meet that every day.
For a big show like the Olympia, do you take time off, or do you go straight back into the gym?
Oh, I go straight back to the gym. This being my first time ever that after surgery, then I have to, I can't be in the gym for 3 weeks. And then he said that I can go back in the 3rd week to do leg, but somebody will have to assist me with grabbing the weights. And then within the 6th week, I can start doing upper body again. But this is my first time ever being out of the gym completely. Probably my body's gonna thank me. It's gonna be like, thank you, leave me alone for a little bit. And then mentally, I'm gonna be ready to go back. And then physically, I think probably it's gonna help.
Right.
Now, you and your husband own a gym, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Pro Lift or something, right?
Yeah, Pro Lifters.
Yeah.
Now, how much do you let your body fluctuate from off season to contest prep? Do you stay pretty tight during off season? Stay ready?
The heaviest you will see me is how my recent pictures that I've been posting in videos. That's the heaviest you ever see me. Not because, I like to feel comfortable with myself, and I learned how to love my body with, every single week of a prep or off season. So I know a lot of the girls struggle with the off season, but once you start learning how to love your body in every single phase type of then that's how you get comfortable with yourself. Because before I would never have done a photo shoot with the body that I have now, but now mentally I learned how to love that. So then I feel more comfortable, and then that would be and I mean, my diet stays pretty clean. So, yeah, I like that look.
I don't even know how this fall photo shoot stuff works today. You know, we are back in the days, we were all with Reader, or we could only use certain photographers. How does that work today? You just hire somebody, you know, or
so
there's no magazines and.
So I'm very picky with who I shoot because it says a lot about, you know, like the wrong picture can just look tacky, and it creates this wrong impression of you too. And now with social media that's so strong, like your kind of Instagram is who you are type of thing. So you really have to know what you show on social media. But also, you know, my mom says that I'm one person on social media, and in person I'm somebody else. I'm very like conservative, and like, and then whenever they see my social media, it's like a whole different thing. But it's, you know, we're in the industry that's, you know, that style, so it is what it is. But like nowadays, I look on Instagram, I see the pictures that, you know, I kind of like, and then I just, you know, call the photographer, and then we get together, and then it is what it is. But now, like, I have this photographer, and he's a videographer, but now he's trying to get into the whole photography. So we're doing tests here and there. So he's learning with me, but I like where we're going. But I obviously love when I have that experienced photographer that just move and they take the right pictures, and it's like you get to enjoy the moment, because like a photo shoot can be very tiring if the photographer doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, remember photo shoots that would take up to 8 hours.
Yeah, so it's like it's all about the lighting now. So if you don't have the right lighting, you just waste time going back and forth. But when you have that right photographer that they know what they're doing, it's just like 1, 2, 3, within an hour you're all set. You have like
I don't know. I give you 1 hour, and then that's gonna be it. You know, if you can't do it in an hour, this is not going to work. You know, I remember that one guy after an hour wanted me to climb on a tree at the beach and said, "This is not going to work for me." You know, absolutely not.
I can see you up a tree.
Yeah, I was at the photo shoot with Roland Schurlock and Gunther. And you know, he looked at Roland, and Roland says, "No freaking way, guy." And Gunther was already off the tree. But you know, Chris Lunt, I don't know, he gave you exactly 1 hour, and it was great. You know, it was very intense, and 1 hour, and you were out. The next one was already waiting. Yeah.
Wow.
I miss shooting with Chris. Chris Lund was the best photographer ever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, but I used to have a laugh with Chris. We used to have some great photo shoots.
Chris was a great guy.
Yeah. Jay Cutler's from up there where you're at, right, Maria?
Yeah.
You ever run into him up there or talk to him, or?
No, so he lives in Vegas, I think, right now.
Yeah,
and I think his whole family is in Boston. So they usually have the New England and the Jays, his show in our area. So we usually sponsor both shows. And then now the Boston Pro is a huge deal. So we got to see him there and almost everybody.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was a huge show, very well.
Yeah, it looked like it went really well. Yeah.
Yeah. They made very good money. So it's like, hopefully they're going to come back next year. I was hoping to do that one, but you know, it happened. But we sponsored the show. So we got to get our brand known there too. So yeah, so you get to see him I get to see him 2 times a year, and now the Boston Pro 3 times.
Yeah. That's what's the gym there? Bev Francis? Is that there? What's the gym there in Boston? The famous gym?
In Boston?
Is it, or just near Boston up there?
No, so no, so you're talking about Steve's gym. That's in Beth Francis.
Yeah.
Long Island. That's Long Island.
Okay.
That's
yeah, that's like from Boston is like 5 hours, 5.5 hours.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Boston had like a Mecca gym.
No, so we try to do something like that. So like we're probably the first old school gym that's been there. Obviously they had them before, but they all closed down. So we opened up right in the middle of the pandemic with that concept, with the old school warehouse look. obviously very clean, but very old school at the same time. But it's inviting to everybody. So not just bodybuilders. So whoever loves the lifestyle and they like to see, you know, competitors train for their shows, or they like to see, you know, the whole vibe. That's the type of place we built. And now, like, we're obviously looking to expand. Within the first year, we kind of like needed a bigger space. So now just looking for the right location with trying to look for the same style as the warehouse look. But now it's just very hard. They always say no because of the whole the parking spots.
Right.
Like, we're willing to rent your place, and you just but it is what it is for now. But we're working, like, now we're just looking at different areas in Boston, and yeah, and hopefully.
So you say that the Boston show, you were representing your brand. So what exactly? Tell me more about that. You talk about the gym, or what else do you guys?
I see me as part of it, but obviously I just want to get pro lifters gym in there. We won. That's the first floor, the second floor, and then we want to expand the brand as pro lifters gym, because we obviously won one in each, like obviously in different locations in Massachusetts, and obviously now we won this area too. I love Miami. I don't see myself living in Boston anymore. It's just the cold is kind of very hard. And just I love the hot weather. It just is a different me here.
Yeah, you're in the perfect place for that.
Yeah.
Miami's got some good gyms.
But they have, yeah, I've been doing a lot of research, and they do have a lot of gyms in different areas, and they have that warehouse look too. They have the pretty fancy ones. And then, yeah, it's very, we went to Elevation for the photo shoot, and I got to see that one. And then, yeah, we've been doing a lot of research, and they do have a lot of gyms.
Yep, definitely. Now, you got your pro card in 2011, or when did you get it? 2011. Where did you get that at?
So I had to go get it in Venezuela. So I did 3 shows, NPC shows, the Eastern USA overall that I won. Then I did the New England's overall, and then I did the Connecticut one, something like that, and that was the overall too. And then I was supposed to do the nationals here, but because I wasn't a citizen yet, they told me I had to go outside the country representing my original, my where I'm from, Chile, and then compete for them in the nationals, the South Americans in back then it was in Venezuela.
Okay.
So I had to go there, and then that's how I won my pro card.
Wow.
Now, is it like that today? Now, did you have to win the overall to get your pro card, and how is it today for you?
Yeah, so now I think they changed the rules a little bit, because I seen a lot of girls that I know that I think they just you can probably request it, but I think no, never mind. So now they created different so I know now they created different shows in like their country. So like now they have a lot of shows, national shows in Brazil.
Okay.
They have a lot of national shows in South America in general. But like my girls, that the ones that probably don't have like their papers here. So what they do, we usually train them to go to the Arno or the Olympia Amateur.
Okay.
So they can get their pro cards that way. If not, that would be, yeah, for that, what I know, those are the shows that you can go without kind of like having your documentation here.
Okay.
But if you're outside the country, they have so many shows now. So in Brazil, I'm training one girl that just won the regional, and now she's doing the Arnold South America, so she can get her pro card.
Okay. So there's only one class of the figure. So is it like the top 3 get pro cards? Who gets pro cards in figure?
No, so like I know it depends on the show. They either give 2 pro cards to the first or second, or the overall winner.
Okay.
Yeah, they're tough. Like I just got a girl getting her pro card in women's physique, and they only gave 1 pro card for the overall.
Yeah, we talk about that, how it's a little easier. I know for the men. I don't know too much about the women. So
Yeah, I
is it
think
like
was
is it like that
easier.
bikini, JP?
Well, it depends, I mean, certain shows like at the amateur Olympia, there's one per class. The amateur bodybuilding man, I think, is the top 3 in the overall. I honestly didn't know exactly what the figure, if they give it in every class at the amateur Olympia, there are notes,
Yeah.
but I know now. So it really depends from show to show. I think the most pro cards they give away at the nationals, but you have to be a US citizen or at least have a green card. I think there's 2 per
Yeah.
class. Yeah. So it really depends from show to show. So you grew up in Venezuela or Chile?
I was 12 when I got here, so I'm half. It's like I'm not from there, but I'm not from here.
So you
if
said
I go-
Chile or
South America, right next to Argentina.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's if I go back there, I'm an immigrant there. If I'm here, I'm an immigrant here. So it's like I'm right in the middle. So
So
yeah.
you need to be down in Miami. You'll fit right in.
Yeah, that I think that's why I kind of like love
Yeah.
the most. And it's so funny because here almost nobody speaks English.
No,
Yeah,
I
no.
remember that.
no.
Yeah.
So it's funny. So it's like even my husband's like asking for things, and I'm like, I have to translate. So it's funny. My parents love it here because of that reason. They feel like they're home, and but yeah, I just love the weather here too. So.
Yeah, it's nice down there. It's got some craziness too, but of course
Yeah,
Boston's
so now
crazy.
I saw the real estate just went up like crazy. So you have $1 million house that they're like 3 rooms, not a big deal. In Boston, you have $1 million. Yeah, in Boston, you have a $1 million house that are not a big deal. So like for having it here too, it's kind of like weird because here they don't pay as much.
Yeah.
And the economy is but yeah, it's very.
So in Chile, is bodybuilding like big there or how is
So
it in Chile?
it's starting. So they just had this past weekend they had a show that Fernando he promoted it, and it looked like a pro show. It looked very nice, and obviously the quality has to be worked on. Now they kind of getting the kind of how it's supposed to be. But I think within time, Chile is a very conservative country, and it used to be looked down bodybuilding. So now they're kind of getting it's not about bodybuilding, it's about being healthy, and then it kind of like the result of being healthy, you also can look better, and now it's kind of like a cool to be in shape. So it's getting there. Not there yet. But it's
How are the
getting
gyms in Chile? Because my wife is Peruvian, and every time we go to Peru, I know they're just north of you. So I know every time we go, the gyms are still not as caught up as they are here in the States. Is
yeah,
Chile
and
similar?
especially with the timing. So last time I went there, I was there. I want to say like 11 years ago, and they opened at 11. I'm like 11 in the morning. How do you open at 11 in the morning? And they were very small, but now that I know a few competitors from Chile, so they said like whenever I go, they're gonna take me to where the cool places are, and the bodybuilders are, and yeah, so I will have to follow that crew.
So I bet I guess you're the #1 pro from Chile.
Yes, so I know there was one pro before me that was Geraldine, but she was a women's physique. And then I think I am now the top of the top because I've been in the Olympia more than any of them. And yeah, all the pro shows that I have won. So yeah, I can say yes, I'm probably the top.
Incredible.
Yeah. The Arnold still doesn't do figure, do they?
Arnold, they do. So
Oh,
I didn't apply for the Arnold this year because of my surgeries. But
Okay.
I think I was gonna be able to compete there if I had to apply. But I knew I wasn't gonna have the surgery, so I said no.
Yeah. What is it? A couple women events they don't have, right?
I think physique they don't do.
Yeah, physique and
Yeah.
and bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding.
They don't.
No,
No.
they don't do. They did do women's physique. They still do figure though. It's the Miss
Okay,
International.
so it's figure and bikini.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they took out 212, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they just took out 212 as well.
Was this a pandemic thing, or was it always no 212s?
No, there was 212. There was 212 for, you know, for a while.
Oh,
Yeah, because didn't Hide win the 212? Or
Oh
did
yeah,
win
he
the other
won
one?
that, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Cool. That's all I got, guys. You got anything else for Maria?
No questions.
Everybody
Yeah.
kind of covered all the questions that I did have. So
Yeah, I kind of covered everything. No, that's good. Thanks
Great
for-
guest, absolutely. You know, so we were just discussing not long ago. I think Ian was part of the discussion. You know, how different categories train, and we kind of felt like figure is probably the closest when it comes to like workout splits to men's bodybuilding. I know you guys probably don't train arms a lot. You train your arms, or what's?
So yeah,
the deal
so I
with that?
stopped training bicep and triceps a while ago because it kind of took away from my shoulders. So I needed that, you know, those round delts, and it was kind of like taking it away. So I stopped training them, and yeah, and I think it's probably the way I work out is very old school. So I really relate to, you know, bodybuilding, like men's bodybuilding, and then dieting, the same thing. I'm very old school with that too. I think figure is probably women's physique and figure are probably the closest to what with men's bodybuilding. I know that now, like wellness, they train legs pretty hard, but upper body's not there. But yeah.
So you say that, you know, you have to be careful not to get too hard. That's not how I feel when I watch a figure show. I think, you know, when I look at Temple, they look to me as hard as man's bodybuilding.
Yeah, so like it's I love conditioning, and because of my waist is not, you know, the smallest one on stage, I always have to go harder than probably what they're looking for. But I always get very well recognized by conditioning, and I always being winning shows because of that too. And I think it's just the right, when I go very hard, and then like, you know, day before a show, I know how to carb up the right way so I can get more, you know, that right volume too, so I don't look too dry. Yeah, I can go even harder if I wanted to, but I just have to watch that I can't be striated for, you know.
So kind of the carving up and thing, you and your husband just kind of decide the night before, okay, it's enough, or let's eat more.
Yeah, so like he keeps watching me. So like I start covering up like a day before, and I just go very slow, and I go, you know, every hour and a half. And then depends, he'll watch me that's why I always have to have him with me if I go to a show. I don't like to compete if I'm, you know, he does not watching me, type of thing. Because, you know, as a competitor, you always kind of critique more. You always think you're too fat, or you always think you're, you know, you're always kind of crazy. So I always like to have him watching what I do, and then he would tell me, no, you're all set. Oh no, you need more. So then I'll go through that.
You also stopped training the legs a week before, or how you handled glutes, legs, hamstrings the last week?
Yeah. So if I compete on a Saturday, I'll stop training legs. On max, I'll do legs on a Sunday. Well, I kind of like change my training, so I have a week off, like quads especially, and then I'll just, you know, I'll do upper body, and then I'll stop training by Thursday. And then if I do something, it'll be mostly like lunges. I'll do a little bit of glutes, but something that very light, just to pump the muscle and just to get that last water out, but nothing crazy.
And you also have like a depletion phase, and then you start loading like on Thursday or Friday?
I start on, if I compete on a Saturday, I start eating on Friday morning. And then I'll go through, like I start around like 10 a.m. and then I'll go all the way.
How many days a week do you pose?
So after I started working with Kenny, he told me just do 10 minutes per day, not more than that. More than that, just like confuse you. And then I do whenever whenever he's in town, it'll be like 1 hour away from me.
Mhm.
He will text me and he'll be like, "Can you be here at 3?" So then I'll, and then we do like 45 minutes back and forth. We change what we have to change, and it's just like it was so drastic the change that I had to do, and that I was like, "Whoa, how come I didn't do this before?"
Mhm.
Even Candy, she was like, "All this time and you don't know how to pose." So that's when I was like, "Oh, I need to hire somebody now." So so then I hired him, and then so just like 10 minutes per day when I'm good,
Mhm.
and then when with him it will be probably like twice a month.
Okay.
But then we always keep in touch,
Mhm.
and either FaceTime or but yeah, 10 minutes is good enough.
Okay. Cool.
But 2 years ago, I went to a pro qualifier, figure pro qualifier, the over 35 and up masters. It's when they had it the first time in LA, one in Pittsburgh, one in LA. So I seen this figure girl. She's a local girl who was extremely hard on stage. I mean, rock hard. She won easily. She won her pro card. So I started asking her about depletion and loading. So this girl was loading on Friday like 600 or 700 grams of carbs. And then in the evening, they decided to pull the carbs and just not eat for the last pretty much 24 hours, other than little bits, just to not collapse. So I had no idea before that the woman can, under certain circumstances, load this much. I was totally in awe, and the woman was in incredible shape. So I used to do like 200 or 300 grams a day. So yeah, I'm incredibly amazed. I also got close that categories to bodybuilding. So you load only one day, you say? Huh?
Yeah. So like it's kind of like that's why I think once you start working with somebody, they really have to know your body. That's why I'd rather do it kind of like myself and learn with experience. But now it's just, I know if I'm competing on Saturday, I have to start, taking the water out by Tuesday. And then I go, slowly. And then on Friday morning, depending how I look, then it'll be, if I have to take a little bit more water out, I'll do a little bit of cardio, very, mild. And then I start eating by probably 10 o'clock. And then, just go very slow. My body, because of my waist, I can't just take a lot because my waist would just blow up. And I don't do sodium, or I don't do I don't do burgers. My body doesn't work with that.
So by water out, you mean you restricting water you drink?
Yeah, from Tuesday on. So if I'm competing on Saturday, and then I'll slowly start taking the water out. And then by Friday, I'm zipping water. By Thursday, I'm doing a quarter of a gallon. And then, and then with the food, I really watch what I eat. I time everything. I'm very on point on that, because that's so drastic. If you mess up on that, you just mess up with everything.
Now, did you say you restrict sodium a lot that week too?
So yeah, I stopped the sodium completely.
I do not understand that, to be honest. I don't think it's a good way of doing things, to be honest. And I also remember I asked that extremely ripped girl on stage. So the same questions, we're discussing here right now. And said, so did they, take your sodium out? Did they restrict your water? Full sodium till Friday, put it back in Saturday morning, and she drank full till midnight the night before. So
I think also it really it depends on what you're also taking. So I'm very mild with what I take, very, very mild. Probably for like a normal bodybuilder would be like, are you like almost natural? Because like what I take is very, very mild. So it depends also on that.
I don't even think if you would take diuretics, I don't even think they would work when you have no sodium in your body.
Yeah. So like I usually start like, so I'm saying like other type of stuff, like whatever you're taking before, like throughout a prep, or it's there's bodies that just respond very well with everything, and with the way that I've been doing it, I try to do it like naturally, and then if I need a little bit of diuretic, I'll do it, but it's not something that I'll look for, because I had a bad experience too before, and it's just like something that I try to get away from it. And but I have tried sodium before a show, but it just, because of my weight, my weight just like expands. So I kind of like, I'm risking a lot by putting so much sodium at once. So everything that I do is very slowly. So if I have to do sodium, I'll do very mild stuff, integrated sodium in my meals, but not with something that, like a burger. I would not do that.
Yeah. But by dropping all this sodium, your body will also get rid of a lot of potassium, since
Yeah, no, but like I always,
out.
so I have everything planned that, you have enough potassium. I do potassium pills. I do a lot of potatoes. And then everything's kind of very measured. So by the end of the day, what I have done is been working for myself. And it is kind of like,
well, I can disagree with you all day long here. You won 7 shows and I didn't, so.
So it's just, yeah, it's kind of like the bodybuilding is kind of like, it is what it is. There's people that you hear, they do some like crazy stuff. And then if I hear probably like what Sydney Gillen does, it's probably going to be totally the opposite of what I've been doing. Or
I consider what you're doing pretty crazy, to be honest. Really? Yeah.
So it's just like, I think bodybuilding is kind of like crazy in general. So somebody's react well to one thing, and it's just like, I think you have to experiment, and whatever it works for you, probably it's not going to work for me. But that's why like working with a coach is so kind of like for me, because it's like, I know how my body's going to respond. And it's just tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's very individual.
Yeah. So it's like you have to go. For myself, I've been going by experience, by what I have done before, what didn't work, and now like I feel that by this time, being how many years competing, now I got kind of like that key that I needed it to kind of like move forward. Because before it was always, oh, I didn't do that, I should have done that. And then I think I needed that off season so I could grow a little bit more and then move forward. But like diet wise, and especially that last week, until now, it's been working great. But I always take constructive criticism if you guys have different.
So it'd be interesting. Did you ever like in the peak week, let's say now every night at the same time under the same light, you take the same pictures, starting like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And are you positive with the system you're using that you're getting better? Your best pictures would be the Saturday night pictures. Are you positive of that?
I always do pictures, but never like in the same light, at the same time. I'll definitely try that. But it's always like, it looks like I'm getting better by the time. And it's just, I know when like it's time to carb up, it's just, you can tell that picture, you're flat, you need to eat. That's when I just start eating. And then I take another picture before, like in the middle, like within meal 6. Then if I need way more, then I go with sodium. I have my chocolate cake. And then that's when that just wakes me up, and then just gives me that different look. And then I know in the morning, I take another picture right early in the morning before eating. And then if I need more food, then I start with more cake, and I start with honey, and then I'll go more deep into it.
Very interesting.
Cool.
And yeah.
Well, Maria, before we let you go, are you taking clients?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So
and how do they get a hold of you?
They can DM me on Instagram, and then from there we'll direct them to our line 617-908-0990, and that will be our business line where we send all the information they need, and then from there we direct them to the front, like the kind of the front desk line that they'll sign them up online. Or nowadays almost everything is online. We do have our clients physically, not myself or Tom, but we train our trainers to train like we do. So we send all the information. It's like training with us, but with a different person. So we send all our trainers the training that their clients are supposed to be doing, and we train them to train like we do, so we can have all those before and after like we used to. And that's how kind of we got well known in Boston, because of all those, you know, crazes before and afters. And but because of, you know, gyms and trying to find location is so much more behind the scenes. So now it's very hard for us to train somebody in person. And also because I don't have the patience anymore. I used to have the patience, but now it's just a lot. And but yeah, they can get a hold of us on Pro Lifters FS. That's our business page, and then we have the gym.
Are you guys also doing online training, or just
we do a lot of online training. Yeah, we do. I just love it when I see online training is like a love and hate relationship. I love it when you get those clients that follow exactly what you say, and you can see every single picture of every, you know, chicken every Sunday. They look just better and better. But then you have the online clients that they're not supposed to be online at all, but they want to be online, and we have the in person, but we have a separate.
Are you using an app you designed yourself, or how do you online training?
No, so to be honest, like we're very old school. I'm very old school for that. Like I don't like the whole you need to get in touch with this person or at this time to get in touch with your coach. I think, you know, people are very, like, especially with beginners, they have a lot of questions, and I feel like they have to be able to get in touch with you when they kind of like need it. Probably then the supermarket and they're buying the wrong stuff. I rather them asking than making the mistakes. So we do through WhatsApp. We have that direct line, and then.
So if you don't mind, late May, I might contact you, and I might have something to make your life a little easier.
Oh yeah.
Just remember my name. I will contact you late May. And
okay,
I'm working on something really great for online training.
Oh really?
It's an app which everything combines in one platform. There's going to be a communication like WhatsApp built into the app. There's the diets built into the app, which you can design yourself, the workout plans, the payment plans, even a calendar kind of section, which reminds you on
That's
daily
awesome
tasks.
Because at the end of the day, it's very hard to find something. I was working with something like that, but it was so complex to kind of like figure it out that I was like, oh, I can't, like I needed to do, like when I needed to do a meal plan, I needed to be fast and I need to be.
The reason I did this is because of the frustration to work with different apps and not being happy with any of them. So I finally bringing out my own app, and so far it looks really, really good.
That's awesome. So I'll wait for your contact.
Thank you. I will.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Maria, we'll have to bring you on when we get closer to the Olympia as you get ready.
Yeah, you'll see my face going.
Get the diet, like, all the sinking in.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you again for coming. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Yep.
All right. You guys have a good evening. Maria, have a good night.